Hey, I'm Jocelyn, and these are the eats of Rome. Because I'm in Rome, and you know what? I'm freaking hungry. I haven't eaten anything but gelato all day. And so yeah, I should probably put gelato at the top of the list. And I do want to say, when you're getting gelato, it's not just a Roman thing, obviously, it's all over Italy, but find yourself a really good gelateria, not just like one of those little kiosks or something. There's no reason to spend €2 on something that you could get in the grocery store when you can get like really great handmade, from the house kind of gelato. Get that. Don't get the other stuff that's like pre-made in a factory somewhere. So one of my favorite things in Rome, it's really two things. Carciofi, it's artichokes. There are two different kinds of artichokes that are like really indicative of Roman food culture. One of those carciofi that I really love is carciofi romana, and it's just slow cooked artichokes until they're really, really just buttery and tender, and oh my gosh, really good stuff. You're gonna find that more like spring, early summertime when artichokes are like blooming a little bit more. You can probably get it other times of the year. I mean, artichokes are out and about all over the place, but the one thing that I think you need to get when you're here also is carciofi juliana, and it's the Jewish artichoke. Jewish food cultures have really left their mark on Roman food, and one that to me is like just the best is the Jewish artichoke, and it's basically just a fried artichoke, but that sounds so plain, and it's so much more than that. It's just light and crispy and just delectable with so much flavor. So get yourself one of those. Also, pizza. I mean, we're in Italy, so pizza everywhere, right? But Roman pizza is really thin and crispy, and it tastes really great. And the reason it tastes so great is because of the water here. The other thing is flour. Flour is really important all over the place, and flours are very regional across the world. But here, like, the big thing is the water in that pizza dough, and it brings out so much. So another one is cacio e pepe. Cacio e pepe is basically like thin spaghetti noodles, not quite as big as you're used to, but not angel hair. And it's just a really simple spaghetti dish served with black pepper and cheese. The cheese, although you're gonna think it's Parmesan, it's not Parmesan, it's Pecorino Romano. And we can talk about that later, but that's the cheese you're gonna get here. Don't be asking for Parmesan, y'all. Another great pasta dish that is just totally indicative of Roman food is carbonara. It's going to come, it's like eggs and cheese. Again, you're gonna get that Pecorino Romano and guanciale. You're not gonna get like all these different kinds of meats and bacons and whatever. You're getting guanciale, which is one of my favorite porks. It's just, God, it's so good. You're gonna love it, I promise. But anyway, expect that. Don't expect like bacon. Don't expect like pancetta or anything like that. You're gonna get it with guanciale, and you're gonna be very happy. To go along with that is a matriciana, and it's a lot like carbonara, but it's not like carbonara. It's kind of like carbonara with some tomatoes in there. It's definitely got the guanciale and the pecorino, but you might find it on different pastas. You're not always going to have it in like a spaghetti kind of pasta. You might get it on a different kind of noodle. But it's a really great thing, and it just adds a little more vibrancy to that, because carbonara can be very rich and very, very filling. So when you get it with a little bit of tomato, that acid sort of bites some of that richness and makes it a little more approachable. So one of my favorite foods when I come to Rome, if I'm really just needing a meat day and I need a meat dish, is Salton Bucca. Salton Bucca actually like literally translates to jump in mouth, and absolutely it can jump in my mouth any day because it's that good. It's veal medallions, and they have been rolled with sage and prosciutto. And that sage just, the two really go well together, but the prosciutto adds like a little bit of fat and a little bit of salt, and seriously, jump in my mouth. Just do it. Another one is bruschetta. Please don't say bruschetta. It's bruschetta. Bruschetta is very simply an antipasto, and it's just toasted bread that's been rubbed with garlic. Garlic bread doesn't actually exist in Italy like we think it does. Bruschetta is about as close as you get. It's just rubbed over the top and then drizzled with olive oil. Sometimes you'll find it with tomatoes, so it'll say al pomodoro or something on that line. You'll find other things too, but very simply, it's just toasted bread with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of garlic rubbed on top. So basically every town in Italy, I think, has its own pasta, and Rome's is Bucatini. Bucatini is a lot like a thicker spaghetti noodle, but it's got this tiny little hole that goes all the way through it, which, by the way, if you're at home and you're boiling it, kind of is great because it helps boil a little bit faster, in my opinion. It's also got a little bit more of a meaty texture because of that hole. Like when you bite through it, if it's al dente, it's got a little bit more mouthfeel, if you will. One of the ways you'll find it often is alla grisia, and that's going to be with pecorino and black pepper and guanciale, because everything's better with guanciale. Another great starter is supli. Supli is a lot like arancini that comes from Sicily, these fried balls of rice, yeah? But this one, in my opinion, is better because there's tomato sauce and cheese, because cheese, why not? Anyway, these rice balls are really great. They're actually quite filling. So if you're around town and you just need like a little snack in the middle of the day, it's a really great idea to just grab one of these rice balls, and it fills you up for quite a while. My kids really love them. They're like a great snack for children. Okay, so it's in lots of things. We're gonna talk about Pecorino Romano cheese. It is the substitute for what we would think of as Parmigiana. It's kind of a dry, white cheese, crumbly, like little bits all over everything. Kind of salty, not as salty in my opinion as Parmigiana usually, but you're gonna find it on everything, and it's the go-to for topping all pastas in Rome. Okay, if you're here in the spring, what you have to get is fave a guanciale. So it's broad beans, and that's what's dictating the spring part. You can only get these beans in the spring. I mean, maybe you can get them other times, but you don't want to get them other times because they are peak performance at the springtime. You want that. And they're with guanciale, and I'm just telling you, guanciale is like my jam. So anyway, these broad beans are really great, and I've got another thing that is best in spring. So Fiore di Zucca, you can find more and fresher varieties, usually in the spring and early summer. But you can kind of get it most of the year. I mean, shoot, I've gotten it in November. I'm not going to say it was as good in November as it was in April, but I could get it. Anyway, it's zucchini flower that is stuffed with cheese and sometimes with sardines. It just depends on where you're getting it and who's making it. And then it's lightly battered and fried. I'm gonna say this, I have had it in like a tempura batter, and that to me is the best. Sometimes they're like a little bit thicker breading and stuff, and then other times, there was once I got it, I swear it was like almost like cornmeal, and it just overtook, it was just too overpowering for that delicate flour and this soft, light cheese inside. So try to get that if you're here in the spring and early summer. And actually, it's the end of June, and I got a couple of really good ones so far this trip. So last but not least, but probably the most important in Rome, is the water, because that water has been running fresh and cold for centuries. Check that, millennia. Really, truly, when you're here and it's hot as Hades in the middle of summer, and I promise you it will be, take your bottle, and instead of throwing away and getting rid of a bottle that's going into a landfill, you get to reuse your bottles here, because there's fresh, clean, cool water all over the city in these great water bubble fountains. They're everywhere. It's not you're not getting it from Trevi Fountain. Let's just make that clear. But there are water fountains all over town. It's also great when it's really hot. I will walk up, just stick my hands under there and put water all over my chest and my neck and my arms just to cool myself down. But that water is sweet and it is clean, and you can absolutely and should absolutely drink the water here in Rome, because you know what? The Caesars did, all the popes did, still are. Let's do it ourselves. Anyway, those are my eats of Rome. I know there's a lot more. There's probably like 5 or 6 off the top of my head I could name, but this video is gonna be stupid long. So if you have favorites from Rome, put those things down in the comment section below and let's share our knowledge. See you later. Ciao.